Madume ka lapeng re le amohela nanao la rona la mafumahadi the ladies club. Ke lona nanao la rona le ketika mafumahadi a rona mona mo Afrika Borwa ha re bua ka dipapadi. Moe motle ke nna Lebo Motswedi.
And my name is Velen Kirtley. Welcome to the Ladies Club. We're all about profiling and mingling with women who are champions in the beautiful yet challenging world of sport. You're welcome to join in on the conversation. So easy on social media, on Twitter, at sports, at SABC. We're also on Facebook, at Lebo Motswedi, at Velen Kirtley. Just use our hashtag the Ladies Club.
How do we work a topic from coaches to referees to broadcasters? Women are breaking down barriers and stereotypes in the sporting world. Now, our theme today is women breaking barriers of gender bias in the world of coaching. As women break barriers in professional leagues and draw positive reviews for their work as coaches, officials and broadcasters, there should also be equal focus on what needs to happen next. Please do feel free, of course, topic on social media platforms. Jalo ka Velen at sport at SABC at Lebo Motswedi at Velen Kirtley.
Hashtag the Ladies Club, and that's how you get hold of us. Now, we always start off the show with a quote, so let's actually bring you this one. And it comes from a journalist who has been the co-anchor of ABC News morning news program, Good Morning America, and primetime news magazine, Diane Sawyer, a name that many people throughout a number of generations actually know. She once said, whatever you want in life, other people are going to want it too. Believe in yourself enough to accept the idea that you have an equal right to it. And I think this is something that's so important because it speaks to self-belief. It speaks to dreaming big and going for it no matter what stands in your way.
And I like the fact that whatever people want, whatever you want, don't forget that it might be the same thing that the next person wants. Who wants it more is obviously the difference. Now, today on the show, we zoom in on female coaches. In the last couple of years, there have been females that have been coaches and different professionals in sports. So the barriers of a woman breaking into being coaches are shattering and giving hope to other individuals who desire to coach.
And it's not only coaches, like we'll find out with our Game Changers Day in football, but also in a number of different sports.
Absolutely.
Coming up after the break, we chat to our game changer, national head coach, DESIREE Ellis.
Welcome back. Our game changer today is breaking down barriers and stereotypes in a football coaching world. And we're talking about none other than Banyana Banyana coach DESIREE Ellis.
Her coaching prowess has proven, well, was proven when she won the Cosafa Cup a year ago and went on to qualify for the 2018 African Women's Cup of Nations, which takes place in Ghana later this year.
Absolutely. Now, a feat which has never actually been achieved. The first South Africa to win the Cosafa Cup as a player and as a coach. She won it back in 2002 as a player and a coach in 2017.
So when she steps onto the field, she knows what she's talking about. She's in charge of Banyana Banyana on an interim basis since 2016 after the Rio Olympic Games, but was then appointed on a full-time basis this year, and that's something that we've certainly got to speak about. Welcome to the Ladies Club Lounge, Des.
Hi, Valen and Lebo. Thanks for having me.
It's really great to have you in studio, finally, in your busy schedule. Tell us now when the love for the beautiful game began, because you were interested in other sporting codes, Des.
Well, I think at the age of 6, when I was at primary school, we used to have a girls' playground, a boys' playground, and the little playground for the grade R's, like they call it nowadays. And I used to jump over the fence on a regular basis to play with the boys, but missed detention because I've also played netball at school. But when school was out, the first thing I did was run home, put my bag down, because when I got to my grand's place, already the boys were waiting to play football. So that really was my love, and continued playing football, but also played hockey at school. Played netball at school, and believe you me, I used to do ballet. I was on blocks. I was at the Ian group.
Wow! So you were actually on point.
Yes.
What? My goodness.
I think that's where my balance comes from. But when I left primary school, I stopped everything because we had a teacher that was very into it, and that's how I became interested in ballet. So how strange is that? Ballet, football?
I didn't know that.
sport and being active was always going to be in your life and was going to be your life. Could you ever have imagined that you would now or one day coach our national women's football team?
Well, at the age of 6, all you want to do is play, you know, and back then there wasn't many girls that played football or girl teams that played football. And I played with boys regularly, even played with the teachers at high school against the boys team. And that's how I got scouted. Played for a girls team called Athlon Celtic. And at the very young age of 30, we went for a trial with the national team. And in those days, we used to travel with a combi and made the team as the vice captain. I was one of 3 players to score on debut. And when we came back, we got a puncture. So when I got back to work, they said I absconded and I lost my job, out of work for 3 years. But I won't say I didn't care, but I was living my dream.
Sure. So when did you realize, you said it at the young age of 30?
Yes, made the national team.
Yeah, so when did you then realize in the build-up to that, because you started having a career, you were working already, that in fact wearing national colours is what you wanted as opposed to being in a 9-to-5?
It was always a dream. But when our former late president, Nelson Mandela, was released, and I think he's opened up so many doors for everybody. When he was released, I got that opportunity. And at that age, I just wanted to stay in the national team as long as I could. So after 3 years, I obviously got a job and used to work until 4, take a bus, go to the soccer field, take a taxi, run home from the terminus, bus terminus home. But that's what I wanted to do because I wanted to stay in the team as long as I could. And for me, it was the most amazing moments.
I mean, most people's last exposure to sport is when they come out of high school, you know, and you getting to be a part of a national football team was never a reality when you left high school. So what kept you actually training and motivated you to carry on playing so that when that opportunity did finally come fortuitously at the age of 30, you were able to grab it?
It's the love of the game. I think if you don't have the passion for something, I think that's the most important thing. And sometimes I get asked the question, where did my passion for football come? I don't have a passion for football. I just have a passion for everything I do because I believe that you've got to do it to the best that you can. You've got to do it without cutting any corners because at the end of the day, if you do things the right way and you follow the right system, then you will get the rewards. But back then, it was just for the love of the game. And even when I made the national team, it was still for the love of the game because back then, you know, we had this one T-shirt where we'd go to training. If you don't come back for any reason that you're perhaps injured, someone else will get that T-shirt. So it was purely just to meet up with the girls that you played with. And I can truly say that most of those girls, Kabuzita, one of them, we regularly chat. And I mean, that was back in 1993, 94. So we've become more than friends. We've almost become like sisters. You know, and that is what it's done for me.
Desiree, you guys were the first generation of Banyana Banyana players in a time where if you say you're playing football, it's a taboo. So what were some of the challenges that you went through then?
Well, when I was playing, I was obviously much more flat-chested because I was much younger, very short hair. Many a times I was asked to get undressed because girls don't play football like that. And
wow.
But for me, the most important thing was there was a lot of negatives with people saying girls don't play football, etc. But I had the support of my parents, and that's the only thing that mattered. If they said it was okay, it didn't matter. And I think with performances, we changed the mindsets of people. I remember once upon a time, I was walking past some fans and they said, let's go to this ladies' game. Let's have a bit of a laugh. And when they left the pitch, they were like, wow, let's go watch them again because these girls can play. So by performing, by showing what you can do, by being the best that you can be, you change the mindsets of people. And if you look at Banyana now, I think they're the most loved national team in the country, you know, and it comes with performances.
You have been at the heart of women's football from its very inception. How have you seen it progress and are you happy where it is currently?
Well, as I said earlier, you know, we had this one T-shirt. Now they have so much casual wear. When I played for the national team, I had 32 caps in 10 years. Now, over a period of 2 years, you play 50 internationals. So in that way, it's changed. A sponsor has come on board. Some of the players are sponsored, etc. I think back then we didn't get a lot of winning bonus, etc. But I think that has also changed. It's changed slowly though, and I think maybe it should have changed much quicker. But each generation sets a platform for the next one. And like we have done, we fought for that. You know, now with their performances, the next generation will be better off. But it's just going a bit slow, but you know, there has been a huge change.
Absolutely incredible journey that DESIREE Ellis has traveled. And we call her the game changer, but I still say she's changed the game. That's the national coach of Banyana Banyana, DESIREE Ellis. So more from her right after this.
Welcome back. You're watching The Ladies Club. Remember, on social media, just use our hashtag The Ladies Club, at Sports, at SABC, at Valen Kirtley, at Lebo Motswedi. Our game changer in the studio today is none other than our national head coach, DESIREE Ellis. Des, it took a little while, though, for you actually to finally be given the post as national coach permanently. How difficult was that period of time for you?
Look, for me, it's just, I got appointed as the interim coach. I was asked to do a certain job. And for me, it was about doing the best that I can. And I believe it's all in God's timing. Because every interview I went to, people would ask me that question. And unfortunately, I couldn't answer that. But I just went ahead and did the best that I could do. I always tell kids when they play, I always tell them, you know, you never know who's watching. So go out there, do your best. Because you never know when you'll be scouted. And if I preach that message, I've got to live that message. And through that, you know, God's timing, and it happened when it should have happened.
Des, we've learned over speaking to a lot of athletes, coaches, women in sport, that because you were a great player doesn't make you a great coach. What sets you apart from the others?
I think you've got to understand the game. You've got to understand how to change things. And most importantly, I think as a coach, you've got to care. And by caring also, you sort of get the trust back from the players. What we do a lot of analysis individually. We do team analysis. We give the players the clips to do self-introspection, to come back and see how they can improve. Besides that, going on coaching courses, you educate yourself. Being a player is not going to make you a coach.
Yeah.
So we've gone through the processes of attending coaching courses, and I can tell you now, it sets you up for this. Because the late Urban de Kock, we used to get assignments. And I remember one morning when I woke up, my roommate, I still had the same clothes on. And I said, did you not sleep? She said, no, I was busy with assignments. It happened to me that I had to work throughout the night as well to do my assignments. So it sets you up for this, you know, where in this rough time where you go to bed late because you're busy preparing. And it's all about planning. It's all about preparing as well. We do a lot of analysis on opposition. We do a lot of analysis on ourselves, how we can improve. And that's how you grow as a coach. But it's not just about standing out there and coaching. It's so much more.
There are international coaches like Helena Costa and Corinne Decré who have made history by coaching professional men's teams.
Yes.
Do you feel that that is a goal for you? Do you feel like that's the ultimate for a women's football coach, to one day coach a men's team? Or do you think we've actually gone beyond that?
I think we've gone beyond that. I don't think it's about men's and women's football. Yes, we have women's football. You have men's football. We've got Juska Diali, who's coached at Platinum Stars in the MDC. So it shows that the women are capable. We've got Tina Sonke that coaches the university national team. It shows that women are capable. And we want to be looked at as coaches, not as coaching a women's team or coaching a male team. If it happens, God will make it happen. That's what I believe. If you put the building blocks in place and it's meant to happen, it will happen.
No, I was just wondering, is there a difference in coaching men and women's football?
Well, I've never coached a men's team, so I'm not really sure, but I'm sure there is a difference. I think you just need to handle, females you need to handle a little bit differently in terms of that. But I think when we do a coaching course, there is no difference.
True.
Everything that's in that manual, because we're not just a lot of females doing it, but there are sometimes a mixed course where there's male and females. So the curriculum, there is no difference. There is no difference really, but it's broken down into men's football and women's football, like we have the teams, but for me, there is no difference.
Sure,
because you speak the same language.
Absolutely.
We speak the same language, Lebo. If there's something tactical that you need to do, you don't speak in the sense that women should do it this way and men should do it that way. So in that sense, there is no difference.
Now, talking about that men and women division in terms of coaching, let's look at our trailblazer for today, because she's also one person who's worked for Banyana Banyana and also does the same job for Bafana Bafana. That is Charlene Boysen. Tell me more about her, Des.
Well, I've known her for a very long time. We played in the same team. Then we all went into coaching, and then when Vera Pau came along, she became the performance analyst, and you've got to have a passion for that, because you know, you make clips, you do the opposition analysis, you sometimes sit with the players, sometimes when we have training, after training she'll come and say, I want to show you something that I've seen, because when you're on the same level, you don't see everything. So her role is very, very important as part of the technical team. And she's got an A license, same as me. So she understands the game as well, and an integral part, because opposition analysis, I think, is so, so important. Yes, we do concentrate on them, but we also concentrate on our own team. And that's where she comes in to put all those little mistakes that we make and show the players. So in that essence, I think nowadays in this modern game, you've got to have an analyst, because you cannot do without that, where people say, I don't know anything about the opposition. You've got to have, and she finds it, you know, because you build up context wherever you play. And as a licensed coach, I think it's so important to have that background, because I don't have to say, I need this, I need that, I need that. We speak the same language. Yeah. If I have to go to an interview of some sorts and she's busy doing an analysis, she's not going to say anything different to what I'm saying, because we understand what it is that we want to do. And that is so important, that everybody buys in. But her job, I think, is so, so key as part of the technical team.
Who would you say has had the most impact on your career? Can you single out one or two people that, you know, have been the most influential?
I think there's so many. I must talk about my late father, because he was the driving force, you know. He'd maybe speak to you and say, oh, she had a good game. But then he'll come to me and he say, oh, was not good enough. You can do better. So he was the one that pushed me really, but I've had a couple of coaches along the way. But I remember Sarami saying that, when are you going to do your coaching courses? And then there was a guy in Cape Town, Mr. Williams. He actually came and he said, you know what, let people remember you for the good you did on the field. Let's go into coaching. And he always reminds me of that. But I must say, with regards to coaching courses, the late Urban de Kock was one of the best. I think I would not be sitting here now if it wasn't for the input that he had in preparing us for this, as I said, at the coaching courses, in preparing us for this. So, you know, we have to be acknowledge those people, and there's many more that I can talk about. But you know, I'd be talking tomorrow if I have to mention everyone.
The development of women football has changed over the years. So what would you say is the current state of women football in the country, especially considering the announcement by Rio Olympic Games that we'll be having a professional league next year?
Well, when I was playing as well, there was talk of a professional league, but I think it's so important that we have a national league. We've got the SASA League, but the gap between the SASA League and international football is really, really big. So the way we try and bridge that gap is to send out training programs, because we have a core group of 40-odd players. So we don't only send it to the squad, but we send it to everyone, because if somebody drops out for any reason and the one person comes in there at the same level, and this national league, I believe, will make that gap even smaller, because you'll have the best players playing against the best every week, and the level and the intensity will be of a high level, because when you come to international football, what you do in the SASA League is very low at times, and international football, everything happens maybe 100 times quicker. And that is the biggest challenge that we face. You also have LFA football, not in all the regions though yet, but you have under 13, under 15 and under 17. And of course you have our national team, under 17, who's qualified for a World Cup, which is absolutely amazing. The second time they did it in 2010. But when you have an infectious coach like Simpiwe Dludlu, you know, you cannot not but want to play because your energy needs to rub off on the team. And she's done exactly that and has put us under pressure a bit. But, you know, we have an obligation to the sponsor Sasol and to SAFA for the opportunities that they've given us. And I think it's not negotiable that, you know, we have to qualify.
And Des, as we wind it down a bit, what do you do besides live, eat, breathe football? In your downtime on a Saturday, what are you listening to? What are you cooking in your kitchen?
Actually, on a Saturday, I'm on the soccer field.
Besides the soccer field.
Going to watch a game. I'm not a great cook, I must admit, but I get by.
Yeah, and music, what are you listening to?
Well, gospel, jazz, you know, R&B.
What are you listening to now?
Well, in my car, I have a gospel. I was listening to some, I don't have a preference though.
Okay.
Where you say you have this artist or that artist. I like the lyrics though. The lyrics mean more to me than anything. Okay. So I will listen to that, Royal Tabernacle Choir, etc., Alvin Slaughter, etc., because, you know, that just spices me up a bit. So when I'm not watching football, I'm watching MasterChef. It's one of my favorites. I can't cook though, but I watch MasterChef because I just think it's amazing. It's an art, like in football. It's an art how they prepare the food, etc. And I read a lot because I think it's important to read a lot, especially football stuff, because you learn and you grow, and you have to learn all the time. You have to grow all the time, because football changes, and you have to change with the times.
If there's one thing that you have to achieve before you stop your coaching career, what will it be?
I think it's to qualify for the World Cup. It has to be. It has to be. I never got the opportunity to play. And I think with the special group of players that we have, with the special group of talented players that we have, it is achievable. Because as coaches, you have a dream, but as players, you also have a dream. And collectively, that's the only way that it can be done. And I'm not just talking about this group now. I'm talking about the group that has come before, the coaches that have come before, because Banyana just didn't happen now. It happened, so everybody puts in that building block. The coaches in the Sasol League, because they prepare the players for us. When Banyana wins, everybody should get the credit. Unfortunately, if the team doesn't do well, it comes down to me, but that is just the way it is, you know, and I'm just happy when the team does well. People think I'm crazy, but it's never about me. It's always about the team, because what we want to build is a team, and not a team where we rely on maybe one individual. If that individual is not playing, then what's going to happen to Banyana? We want to be a team where if this one's not playing, we bring in that one. At the Cosafa Cup, we had 10 new players. 3 players in that group had medals, and now you have 17 more. At Cyprus, we gave everybody an opportunity to play, because that's what it's about, you know, to showcase their talent, and that's who we want to be.
Des, thank you so much. What an incredible journey that you've taken on, and I'm wishing you the best of luck in the AFCON and the World Cup qualifications.
Yes, absolutely. World Cup, Banyana Banyana is coming for you. Des, thanks for being our guest today here on the Ladies Club.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right.
Until we meet again, remember that greatness is never given, it's always earned. Until next week here on SABC2, bye-bye.